So the installation project is done. It took probably about 9 hours to get all the pieces cut and placed in there, but I'm pretty happy with how that came out. One of the things that has come up and I've promised to address is I get a lot of questions on the difficulty, the negatives of taking a trailer off-road or overland. And I wanted to spend a couple moments addressing some of the ideas that I have in my head. If you're out there debating, trailer, no trailer, and I guess the first big piece of advice that I'm going to say is there is no perfect overland setup. It's all a series of, the way I look at it is it's a series of compromises, I guess. So for today, I'm going to focus on the negative things about taking a trailer. I think the thing that comes to most people's mind immediately, and it certainly comes to mind, is the difficulty in maneuvering and handling a trailer. If you've driven any kind of trailer in the past, you'll know that there's always some fear involved with backing it up, taking it into tight areas, going into heavily populated areas like a city to get supplies, parking, whether it's in a parking lot or trying to parallel park it on the street. These are challenges that come up when you're towing a trailer. 2, cost. If you're looking at a trailer that's available on the commercial market, there's a ton of trailer companies out there that make some pretty great products, honestly. I don't know if any of you have taken a look at some of the prices on them, but they pretty much range, from what I can see, from probably in the low end, maybe $3,000 or $4,000. They certainly can go up to $25,000, $30,000. It's a lot of money. It certainly increases the overall cost of your vehicle setup. Now, the other option, of course, is doing what I'm doing, is sort of a do-it-yourself, construction project of my own, making a custom trailer. My goal has always been to not make this thing the Taj Mahal. I am trying to do it on a budget, but even trying to do it on a budget, certainly with the goals that I have in mind for it, it's still it's still going to be a fair amount of money. And I've kind of been tallying it up as we go along. And when I put something on there, I try to let you guys know what the cost is, so you can look at that option as well. Weight. I can't emphasize this enough. It comes up, I know you've heard me say it before, with the vehicle, true of the trailer as well. First problem with weight, I would say, is you got this trailer behind your truck and you're ready to pull out, and you say, hey, I've got some extra space here. I could bring that. And that's the problem. So in my view anyways, the trailer increases the amount of capacity that you have to pull something or to carry something on your adventure, and thus you tend to want to bring more stuff. Weight is the enemy, always. In my case, this trailer is fairly light in the scheme of things. I mean, it is an aluminum trailer. I framed it and skinned it in aluminum. I'm very conscious of the weight placement inside of it and the materials that I'm using to keep the weight down. However, there's still a fair amount of weight. The Unimog has, and I don't know what's going on, but there's sirens. You probably can hear that. Anyways, the Unimog has no problem pulling a ton of weight. However, it doesn't do it quickly. It's a slow vehicle in the first place, and the trailer is only compounding that. So for my friends out there in the overland community that I get messages all the time, hey, let's go meet on the trail, are you going to that event up in Washington State, etc., let's caravan out there. Here's my word of advice to you. Meet me there. We'll have some great times wheeling and hitting the trails. You probably don't want a caravan with me. I'm pretty much guarantee you I'm slower than everybody else. So that's obviously a negative. It's also very important to keep in mind what your tongue weight is, what the actual total trailer weight, which I've been checking. I'm lucky enough to have a truck stop down the road, so once in a while I'll drag it down there and put it on the scale just to see where I'm at. But balance is very important too. This is a single axle trailer, so it is important to make sure that the my placement of all the items in the build inside are fairly, steady, I guess, if you will. Off-road track. This also comes up. It has it's sort of related to difficulty in maneuvering, but the off-road track is important when you're off-road. Wheelbase. Now, in my case, it's obvious. So trailers don't track the same way as the tow vehicle. That's a problem. The way around that, and it's not perfect, is to have a trailer with a wheelbase that is narrower than the tow vehicle. Now, the negative of that, of course, is that when you're towing along and there's obstacles underneath, like rocks or logs or whatnot in the way, you're susceptible to hitting it if you have a narrower track. A wider track is negative because the trailer generally turns wider than the tow vehicle anyways. A wider track makes that worse. Now, in my case, the military, the M1102 trailer that this is based on has a wider track than the Unimog. It's not significantly wider, but it is wider. The actual build of the trailer is also wider than the tow vehicle, so obstacle avoidance is a concern. Turning radius is always a problem with trailers. This is obviously not set up for some of the trails that I've done out west in the Moab area, California. Some tight, rocky stuff. This is not going to be your vehicle. Really, the Unimog isn't the vehicle for it anyways, because it's fairly good sized. The trailer build here is definitely not going to be for that. That's not my goal, though. My goal with this is to set up an overlanding trailer that can get and is accessible to get in many places, but hardcore off-roading is not really one of them. Small versus big. When you're looking at trailers, this probably is on the big side. My goal was to have a setup that I could stand up in. And many of the aftermarket off-road trailers obviously are really camp setups where the rooftop tent pops out and you've got access to all your stuff. This is a little bit different, so it creates challenges. The height is 9 feet 4 inches, I believe. So, I mean, still well under any kind of height that you have to worry about on a road, and quite frankly, most of the time on off-road tracks. But in a tight situation with a lot of trees, a lot of branches, that could become an issue here as well. The last thing I want to mention is because I went with a different tire setup, the negative, once again, is that I've got to carry an extra spare tire. So I've got a spare tire for the Unimog, and then I have a different spare tire for the Expedition trailer. I had looked at that before. Many people, when they're outfitting a trailer, like to match the tires with the tow vehicle, which makes a ton of sense. You've kind of built yourself in extra spares anyway. So if you got into a really difficult situation where you blew out multiple tires on your tow vehicle, well, you can always ditch the trailer for a while, take the tire off, and put it on the tow vehicle. So it's extra insurance, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. In my case, didn't happen. In order to put the 44-inch Unimog tires on the trailer, it was going to be too tall, too big. just wasn't feasible. So that's kind of like some of the negatives off the top of my head. Shoot me a message if you've got other questions or other things that you consider to be negative. And as we go through the build, obviously I'm going to be talking about a lot of positives. But I guess my emphasis, I'd always go back to there is no perfect overland vehicle, no perfect overland setup. It's a series of compromises. So and over the years I've tried many different things, tent setups, rooftop tents, camp setups inside the vehicle, ground setups, and different things, different vehicles, different wheelbases. And so I've arrived, I guess, at the trailer build, which I've been working on now for several years. And we'll see what happens. I can't say that everything's going to go well. I got the opportunity to take it out the other night and do a little bit of road testing with it, and so far, knock on wood, good. It actually tows behind the Unimog extremely well, so I'm happy with that. So, in any case, we will see you soon with another video, and have a great day. Thanks for watching this video. If you like what we're doing, be sure to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the truck and tree symbol to your right. Once again, thanks and hope to see you soon.